Hey everybody, it's Dr. Will Cole. We are live here in our Functional Medicine Health Center where we see patients around the world via our virtual functional medicine practice via Skype and FaceTime and Google Hangouts and locally in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Most of my patients are seen this way, but some are still in the great city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Today I have my friend, my brother, the king of ketogenic world, Jimmy Moore. How are you doing, Jimmy?
Hey, what's up, man? Long time no talk. What, like 15 minutes ago?
Just recorded an episode of Keto Talk, which is the podcast that we're both on together. And Jimmy's been doing that for a long time. And I've been on for past couple months. And it's been awesome to talk about all things keto. So tell everybody what you do, Jimmy, for those people under a rock that don't know who Jimmy Moore is.
Yeah, it's so funny because sometimes I wake up and go, how in the world did I get this life? If you'd have asked 16-year-old Jimmy Moore or your sons right there, Solomon, if you ever dreamt of something like what I was going to be when I'm 30, 40 years old, it probably is going to be radically different than what you think now. And so when I was that age, I was like, okay, I want to be a lawyer, and it just, things didn't work out that I became a lawyer. But now God has a sense of humor. Because had I known at the age of 16 that I would be an international best-selling author, a radio personality, so to speak, and all the things that I do now in the world of health, I would have laughed in your face. And yet that's exactly what happened for me because in 2004, I lost a significant amount of weight on the Atkins diet. But more importantly, it kind of sparked an interest for the first time in my life at the age of 32 to really care about my health. I never did before then. Never cared about what the impact was of the foods that I ate on my body. And now I do know and do care. And so it's been quite the journey. And as you know, I still have the ups and downs and I share all of it through all my work. I think that's one reason people connect with me so much is I'm a real person. I don't pretend to be this larger than life personality that's figured everything out. And why don't you just figure it out too? I'm there with people telling them, hey, look, I struggle. Here's why. Here's things that I'm trying. Maybe you can try them. And people appreciate that.
I agree with that. I think that your message and the vehicle that you've been given, people really relate to you and they feel like, wow, this guy is giving me good tools, but I'm along the journey with him too. And I have a brother, I have a friend in this health journey. And I think that's what people see in you. So what exactly is, for people that don't know, and a lot of people tuning in, either seeing this live or on replay, don't know what a ketogenic diet really is. So boil it down for the people. What is a ketogenic diet?
Yeah, so it's pretty popular in the culture now. We talk about it pretty often on our podcast, Keto Talk, but in a nutshell, I think to keep things really simple, which is my mojo, I like to really translate the complex science. And when you get all ashwagandha on me, I have to go, okay, whoa, what's that mean in the real world? So in the real world, keto is basically shifting your body from being sugar burning to fat burning. In a nutshell, that's what it is. And of course, all the ramifications, positive benefits to your health that come with that. And so cutting down on sugar is an obvious first step, but really anything that would turn to sugar in the body, which could be other carbohydrates, not that carbohydrates are bad in your diet, but that the wrong kinds and the wrong quantities for your body matter. And so you have to keep those down to your tolerance level. And then even protein is not a gimme. Everybody, oh, protein's good, protein's healthy. Absolutely it is. It's why they call it an essential amino acid. But essential doesn't mean free-for-all. And so you have to moderate down on those proteins, and then you eat fats to satiety. So when you do that, you allow your body a couple of weeks period of time to get adjusted to that, 2 to 4 weeks for most people. You're going to start burning this byproduct of fat burning called ketones. In fact, I think I have my meter here somewhere. Where'd my Keto Mojo go? Oh, here it is. I knew I had it somewhere close. So I measure my ketones with a meter, prick the finger just like you would a blood glucose, and it gives you a readout, and it tells you whether you're doing well in your fat burning or not. And that's a huge mistake a lot of people make. They think, oh, all I have to do is just cut my carbs and I'm in ketosis. And I wish it were that easy. Maybe for some people that does happen. For people that are especially a little more insulin sensitive, you probably can, see fat burning and ketosis happen from that. But for a lot of us, we have some kind of metabolic disturbance, insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, any number of things that make that a whole lot harder than it does for other people.
Yeah. So you mentioned testing for ketones other than blood, and maybe what blood meter do you recommend? And then other question I have is, what are the other ways that people can test if they are in this fat burning ketosis?
Right. So traditionally, a lot of people know when you say test for ketones, traditionally the Atkins world always talked about peeing on these sticks. So those are called keto sticks. You can get them in any pharmacy. You can get about 100 of them for like $15. And for the first couple of weeks, they're probably valid because they'll show you the spilling over of ketones, which can motivate you to keep going in your ketogenic lifestyle. But the problem with those is the acetoacetate. We're going to get a little fancy schmancy on people now, but the acetoacetate is that key ketone body in the urine that you're spilling over. Well, the acetoacetate actually converts over once you become from sugar burner to fat burner. Once it converts over to fat burner, can convert into beta hydroxybutyrate, which is the key ketone body in the blood. So this meter I talked about earlier, this is the meter that I sell at bestketontest.com. So it will test for the beta hydroxybutyrate. And for now, it is the gold standard when it comes to testing for ketones. Now, there's also another ketone in the breath. It's called acetone, and it kind of runs a little bit parallel with the blood. It's still an excretion of ketone, not actually what's in the body. So if I turn my camera around here, there's a new fancy schmancy device I just got. I've been using called the Level, Level. I think it's levelnow.com is their website. There's also a Ketonics, ketonix.com. So you can test all kinds of ways. And the point is, in this technological day and age we live in, if you're not testing, you're just lazy. And I hate to be that blunt about it, but there's so many tools at varying price ranges. So everybody can't afford blood testing. Everybody can't afford the Level. Find what you can afford and at least test so you know where you stand. Awesome.
So what are some awesome health benefits of a ketogenic diet? You mentioned about being a fat burner, but what are some other cool things that people should know about?
You have all day? Yeah. So for me, the thing I tell people often, Will, is if I got no other health benefits out of nutritional ketosis than the brain health benefits, that would be the only reason I would do it. I know we addressed a question today that somebody wasn't on a ketogenic diet for weight loss. They just wanted to control their sugar cravings. Great way to do it. So you control cravings, control hunger very naturally. If you enjoy intermittent fasting, it lets you do that almost spontaneously. Blood sugar control, insulin control, lowering of inflammation. The list goes on and on. It really changes the lipid profile. And I know you see it day by day in your clinic. That triglyceride to HDL ratio just gets so much better. The small, dense LDL particles come way down. All the markers in your health that are relevant, that show you have robust health, all get better on a ketogenic diet. I really can't think of anything about the ketogenic diet that would make your health worse, no matter how much you hear these headlines say that it does.
Right. So someone's thinking about doing this, they hear about these cool health benefits. What's a day in the life of a healthy ketogenic diet look like?
I think that's a great question. And people often ask me, what's your menus? What do you eat for breakfast, lunch, snack, dinner? And I don't eat that way anymore. The beauty of switching over from a sugar burner to a fat burner is you really don't think about food anymore. I could wake up in the morning, Will, and go, and most mornings I'm this way, I'm not hungry. And I don't eat breakfast. I don't eat traditional breakfast, although that word breakfast just means break fast. So I could have my break fast at noon. I could have my break fast at 2. So whenever, in fact, today I had my break fast at like 12 right before our podcast. So that's when I had my first meal of the day. And so I don't think we need to make it hard. I think sometimes we try to overthink this. Now, I've got to plan all my breakfasts and my snacks and my lunch. No, that's dieting. And I stopped doing that years ago. Now I'd rather live and eat intuitively. If you're not hungry, don't eat. If you're hungry, do eat. I've got 14 chickens out that back door. And maybe before the end of it, we'll show you the backyard. But and so I enjoy when I'm able to eat the eggs, having eggs from them. I guess the main thing is just keep it simple. I think sometimes we try to say, well, I need recipes. Recipes are cool, and I've got a lot of great friends in this community that make a lot of really cool recipes, but you don't need recipes. You just need get a base protein and then add vegetables to that, maybe a little fermented vegetables with that, and then add fat to that. Those are the basis of really any good ketogenic meal. If you do those 4 things, you can't go wrong.
Yeah. And you can make it delicious. I mean, yeah. I've heard that somebody has a really yummy ketogenic cookbook. I don't know if you know.
Me and Maria Emmerich had a nice collaboration, but yeah, Maria makes great recipes. Carolyn Ketchum is another one. Suzanne Ryan. I'm going to offend a lot of my friends in the ketogenic world. Vanessa Spina. So there's lots of really cool ketogenic recipe books that are out there. If you need inspiration in that, but at the end of the day, I'm a keep it simple, stupid kind of guy. And if you can just get protein, vegetables, fermented vegetables, and fat, you're going to be well on your way to health.
Yeah, and within that map, within that foundation, you can add all this cool stuff. But I think that's when cookbooks are really helpful to people to mix it up and like, wow, I didn't know I could do so much stuff with this foundation.
Yes.
So what is one piece of encouragement to somebody that's like on the fence, should I try it? What would you tell somebody?
I think if you feel like you have tried everything and you haven't found that thing that's going to help you in your health, like we said earlier, there's no downside to doing a real foods-based, well-formulated ketogenic diet. I think whether you're paleo, whether you're vegan, whatever your kind of, where you lean now, you can always make it keto. You really can. And it shocks people when you say vegan. Oh my gosh, how do you make that keto? Get adequate fats, find the right kinds of proteins, done and done. It's not difficult. I think sometimes the diet world has so demonized one another in an effort to prop themselves up that we've forgotten we probably agree on a lot more than we disagree on. And I know this is your heart as well, Will. So why don't we come together and rally around those things we do agree on?
Yeah. Well said. Well said. So what is, for those people that are just tuning in and seeing this, what is new with you? How can they get in touch with you? Tell them all the fun stuff you have coming up.
Oh, man, I always am working on all kinds of projects. We started 2 new podcasts this year. Yeah, a podcaster starting podcast. Do you imagine that? But one with Christine, my wife, who just became a nutritional therapy practitioner. So that one airs on Mondays, called Nutritional Pearls Podcasts. So you can find that on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. I also do kind of a fun one on Fridays that's just non-nutrition related. Sometimes people see people like you and me, Will, and go, oh, all they ever talk about is health and diet. No, there's more to our lives than that. So I wanted to do a podcast that highlighted a lot of the things in our life. So we went on a Star Trek cruise recently. So we did a Star Trek episode. This week's episode, we're going to talk about why we have faith in God. So those kinds of things I think are all important to give context to who this person is that you're following online. So that's on Fridays, One More Thing with Jimmy. But I got 3 new books coming out over the next year and a half. And hopefully one day with Dr. Will Cole. We need to talk about that. But the next one is The Keto Cure. That's coming out with my former Keto Talk co-host, Dr. Adam Nally. That's coming in April. Also in late April, maybe early May, we'll release a book called Keto Freedom. Do you know Meg Dahl?
I don't.
Yeah, so she's out there, a registered holistic nutritionist. She came from the world of anorexia and was able to overcome it by adding more healthy fats to her diet. So, and of course, I came from binge eating in my past. And so we kind of give this headspace perspective on keto, which I think is so missing. It's one thing to tell people, here's how to eat. But if you don't help them get their head right first before they start it, things can derail before they even get going. So Keto Freedom is going to address that. And then finally, Christine and I are working on a book together called Real Food Keto that's going to take a lot of the principles she learned through the Nutritional Therapy Association and apply them through the ketogenic perspective. So real busy, real excited.
That's so cool. And you have all the podcasts. Our podcast is every week.
Yep.
So people who want to read or listen to more of this stuff, where we talk about a healthy ketogenic lifestyle. Thanks, Jimmy. How can people get a hold of you? What's your social media accounts?
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty easy to find. If you just Google my name, Jimmy Moore, the first 2 pages is so funny. I did that the other day, Will, and I was like, whoa, first 2 pages is literally all my stuff when you put in my name. So it just means I'm old is all that means. I've been out there a long time, but I'm at Living Low Carb Man, literally all over social media.
Cool. So we have some time. I would love to see your chickens. I don't know if we're able to.
Yeah, well, let's do it.
All right.
That's my recording studio where we just record the episode. So pretty cool. All right, chickies. Come on, girls. Here they come. You going to say hi to Dr. Cole? Hi, girls. Say hello. It's windy and cold here today in South Carolina, so they're trying to stay warm.
Yeah, you think about cold, and when I'm in Pittsburgh, this is like.
Oh, this is true. Never mind.
So, would you name the chickens, or?
Oh yeah, all of the silver lace wine dots. Thing 1, thing 2, thing 3, thing 4, thing 5, because they all look exactly the same. But the white one, that was a joke. The white one there with the little floppy head, that is icicle. Here, let me try to step out there with the computer and get a little closer look. But that's icicle. And then the other white one that you see in the background over by the water that I'm walking towards, that's Snow White. And then that red one is a Rhode Island Red. That's Squawky. And then this one here is a Black Star. We call her the other because when we first brought her home, she was just hanging around all the others. So she really didn't have a home. So, but there's our girls. Whenever I come out here, they think I'm going to feed them. So that's why they gather around. Hey, come here. Come here. They used to be scared of me, but I think because I feed them so regularly, they're like, hey, he's got food. Let's act nice to him.
Good guy, yeah. These are meal.
But that's our Taj Mahal. We're getting a little better set up soon. And there's the dirt pit for them to scratch and everything. So, yeah, our little homestead.
Hey.
Little homestead. Again, 16-year-old Jimmy Moore would have been like, no, I would not want chickens. But now I'm like loving it.
Where someone's wellness journey brings them, you just never know, you know?
There you go.
Yeah. I'll show you real fast. Look at, I mean, you talk about cold. This is cold.
Oh, yeah, never mind.
That's cold.
That's cold.
All right, guys.
Solomon likes it, right?
What's that?
I said Solomon likes it, right? You like the cold? See? Who knows? See, I grew up in Florida. I didn't have snow when I was growing up.
Oh, boy, yeah. I was going to say, it's bring your son to work day, and not really. I just bring my son to my work day. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining, Jimmy. Love you, brother. I'll see you real soon on Keto Talk.
He's a hand talker, you guys. I love it.